Every September, world leaders gather in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, a major global event where presidents, prime ministers, and diplomats address urgent international issues. Beginning on Tuesday, September 23rd. Over the course of several days, leaders will deliver speeches, set agendas, and try to rally global support for their causes. Who speaks when? Every September, world leaders gather in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, a major global event where presidents, prime ministers, and diplomats address urgent international issues. Beginning on Tuesday, September 23rd. Over the course of several days, leaders will deliver speeches, set agendas, and try to rally global support for their causes. How long will they speak? In theory, leaders are asked to keep their remarks to 15 minutes. In practice, many go over the limit. History has seen marathon speeches, like Fidel Castro's 4.5-hour talk in 1960, or Muammar Gaddafi's hour-and-a-half speech in 2009. This year, the UN hopes speakers will stick closer to the time limit to keep the packed schedule running smoothly. What will they talk about? This year's official theme is Better Together, 80 Years and More for Peace, Development, and Human Rights. But in reality, leaders often use the stage to highlight the issues most urgent to their countries. Gaza. With the Israel-Hamas war nearing 2 years, famine warnings, and a ground assault on Gaza City, leaders are expected to clash over accountability, aid, and peace. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will speak next week, while Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is expected to appear by video after being denied a U.S. visa. Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky will push for strong global backing as the war drags into its 4th year. All eyes will also be on Washington's stance and whether new sanctions or pressure on Moscow are announced. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will respond later in the week. Iran. High-stakes diplomacy could play out in New York as Tehran tries to avoid the full return of UN sanctions. Both the Iranian president and foreign minister will be present. Syria. For the first time, Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, will speak after his forces toppled Bashar al-Assad. Though still under UN sanctions, he was granted a temporary travel exemption to attend. Climate change. Small island states and vulnerable nations will again demand stronger action to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, stressing that their survival depends on it. Women's rights. Leaders will gather on Monday, a day before speeches begin, to mark 30 years since the Beijing conference that declared women's rights are human rights. Many are expected to voice frustration at slow progress and rising pushback. Sudan. The devastating war between the Sudanese army and rapid support forces is worsening famine, creating what the UN calls the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Talks of a truce and ceasefire are expected. U.S.-Venezuela tensions. With U.S. naval forces deployed in the Caribbean and deadly clashes at sea, Venezuela is likely to accuse Washington of trying to destabilize its government. Future leadership of the UN. Finally, on the sidelines, diplomats will quietly discuss who might succeed Antonio Guterres as the next UN Secretary General when his term ends in 2026. In short, while the speeches may follow tradition, the content reflects the urgent struggles and rivalries shaping today's world.